Welcome to your Monday. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, aka your Mr. Monday, and this quick bit of motivation and inspiration was originally published on November 29th, 2021. The original message goes as follows. Overcommunication is a useful tool. It is often necessary to overcommunicate because despite you saying the same thing over and over, people do not always hear you. So going deeper into this message, this is a saying that I'm not exactly sure why it popped up in the actual meaning to do this for Welcome to Monday, but it's something that I actually said a lot and still say often, or not quite as often, but still often in the span of communication, because this is something that we said often in the world of broadcasting. And since I'm no longer daily in the world of broadcasting, it doesn't come up daily, but it's still a message thing and still do talking to folks and getting things over and getting the message across. One thing we say in broadcasting is that communication is our business, but not always our practice. Because just like any other workplace, there'll be some sort of missive that gets missed by somebody. That's an important piece of information for everyone to do something in a common and a consistent and a on-time manner. And some people in the organization will miss out on that message and something doesn't get done. Because as a business, we communicate. We put things out there for people to listen to and hear. And as a practice, people being people don't quite communicate well enough to get the information through. So to fix that, you over communicate. Now that sounds like something that's counterproductive, but guess what? If you can recite from memory a commercial from 10 years ago, a jingle from 20 years ago, or a movie quote from 30 years ago. And I'm saying that because I'm in my 40s, so 30 years ago isn't all that long, even though I can recite back song lyrics from songs that actually were out well before I was born. That came from over-communication or over-promotion or just general marketing, if you will. The Oscar Mayer Wiener song, or My Baloney Has a First Name, both from Oscar Mayer, were jingles created so that they could be played over and over again in various places, and you wouldn't think you get tired of them because they're just songs and your brain is wired to take on songs as they do. But you can still recite those commercials even though they're not on constantly after living through them all those times. I don't think the My Baloney song or the Oscar Mayer Wiener song has been something on constant rotation in at least 15 years, but I can still recite them like they're nothing. I can still recite phone numbers from commercials. I joked about that on Facebook about a few weeks ago. As I record this, I can remember phone numbers from commercials to various things from back in high school, but I can't remember my wife's phone number, who I've been married to for 17 years because it's programmed to my cell phone. Overcommunication is a useful tool in getting the word out. In fact, it's probably the best tool for getting the word out, even though people believe they get sick of it. Billboards that you cross every single day are pushing that same message over and over again until you need it. Because overcommunication is about putting in the bug of that info that you're able to recall back whenever you actually need to get to that. If you're a person who's trying to get a message across, then be prepared to say it over and over and over again, to find different creative ways to put that message in front of people and to get so tired of hearing it yourself that you fail to realize the reason why you've heard it 100 times is because you've said it 100 times, but you may have only said it to 50 people who have only heard it twice. So your overcommunication gets extremely boring for you, extremely frustrating for you, because it seems like it's all this extra effort. And it is, but that doesn't mean all that effort is getting as much penetration as you think it is. You have to overly produce the information, overly produce the stuff to people out there. And you have to make sure that it's blanket coverage as much as possible, because everyone doesn't get the same frequency. Everyone doesn't get the same touch. Everyone get the same level of the same message. So if it's extremely important Just like if you get a message on a weather alert from your phone and then a text message and then your TV will pop something up and then someone will call you and then all of a sudden someone down the hallway is saying, hey, you know, we got bad weather coming. The fact that you got that from all those multiple sources is a way to make sure you get the message. Even if it gets to be repetitive, even if it gets to be in the way, even if it gets to be something that you don't need to hear for the 14th time. Someone else needs to hear it for that first time. So the fact that it's being heard or you hearing it, it's inside of your cone of acknowledgement for that 14th time is proof that it's working. Maybe you get the message the first time, maybe you don't. But trust me, most people don't. Also said in radio, people may think they listen to what you're saying, but they don't always hear it. That's why things are repeated over and over in those jingles and those commercials, because they don't always hear what you say, but they listen to the words that come through. And that's why if you give out great, perfect, precise information, people call back and say, what time's that show again? Even though you said it 3 times in a commercial. Overcommunication is a useful tool. It is often necessary to overcommunicate because despite you saying the same thing over and over, people do not always hear you. This original message was published on November 29th, 2021 from Welcome to Your Monday. For more messages like this one, plus books, merchandise, and other information related to this project, visit the website, welcometoyourmonday.com.